ShiSha Rainbow here with a tutorial for the cosplay of Mercy oder auch Hallo, ich bin Mercy. And yeah, you can skip to the chapters if you want to. So the first one is how to make the halo, then the wig, the makeup and the cosplay itself. Have fun! So, as you may know, I'm making a wig tutorial guide for you under the name Wiggity Wig, sharing all my secrets. And one of these next tutorials will also be how to make this cool, crazy spikes in a natural way and also in a more anti-gravitation style way. I don't know how to name it. And so I'm now just talking about what I used for the wig, and I'm always using some sort of extreme hairspray. So if you have these numbers, I'm always using the highest number that is even possible with a fan, so it will glue everything together and will stay like you shaped it. And I used I used a Dany classic titanium blonde wig from ArdaWigs with 2 long packages of wefts to create all this and fill the spaces between. It also has a lace front. I cut it down very sharp on the edges to make it look as much natural as I can. And yeah, that's the secret. And if you want to be in detail about how I style the wig, check out my Wiggity Wig guide. The information should pop up above. I'm using foam to drying around to create a pattern that suits to my head and my wig. So just be playful. At this point it's totally okay. Just be sure to check if the form suits your imagination. And if you're fine with your shape, just glue together. I'm using super glue right here now. And if you're done, you can use this pattern for the thick foam to cut this out clearly. Due to the fact that my thick foam has an uneven side, I'm gluing my pattern on it with super glue again. Clearing the edges. I'm using a cutter knife to angle the upper edge. Then I'm using a Dremel to sanding the edge as smooth as possible. Then I'm sanding till I'm satisfied. Smoothness is all I need. For this pretty ornaments, I'm using a cutter knife and cutting the straight lines into my foam. After that, I'm using a heat gun to go over it very slowly and lovely. Through that step, the foam will extend and will show the lines even more visible, and the surface will smooth up a lot more. So for a more, I don't know, evener or more even, sorry guys, I'm confused. For an evener or more even, I don't know, surface on the sides, I'm using wood glue. This also builds a nice base for our color code. For the coloring I used transparent glue mixed with this, it's from Schminke, called Aqua Bronze in the color Reich Gold. And if you mix it, it looks like fluid gold. It's an amazing color on the first side, and I loved how it looks on the halo itself, like you can see in the video. I made the halo months before I made the full tutorial, and I had the problem that the color, like you can see, is oxidized. So I wouldn't recommend this color. I don't know if it's the pigments itself or the glue I used with it. I stick to the glue was the problem because this is truly wonderful, and I can't imagine that this is oxidating all the time because look, it's so beautiful. But yeah, errors were made and we learned from it. So stay with gold color spray or acrylics. I'm testing my way through metallic colors anyway because it's the most complicated colors to look real and cool. So I'm not perfect, but I'm showing you I love this pigment, but not with the glue I used. So maybe you should invest in a special glue that is made for it, not any random glue. And the last step was that I used magnets to attach the halo on my wig so I can remove it later. That was it at all. I think I will make a tutorial about metallic colors anyway, because I tried and errored my whole way through all different kind of colors, and that could be maybe interesting for you. Just comment me if you would like to see it. So now I will show you how I would do the Mercy makeup. And like you can see, my skin is actually on its worst. So at first I'm using MAC Studio Fix Fluid in NV10, so it's the lightest skin tone they have. And I will see how it works. So the color isn't as pearl as my neck is, but because of the fact that Mercy don't even show her neck, I don't care. So that should be fine. I like the outcome so far. And now, because I have really dark under eye circles, I'm using V7 Cover Chameleon in orange to correct them. Now I'm looking like a healthy human being again, and I like these both products because they don't crawl too much into the lines, and here, that's important too. Now we set all the makeup with powder. I'm using always the translucent powder from Kryolan. So after everything is set now, I will work on my eyebrows. I'm using an eyebrow pencil in soft and natural blonde. I'm working in a dot motion because it's a game character and it has a very clearly shaped eyebrow, but I don't want to have a too unnatural result in the end, so I prefer to work like this. I try to make them as natural as it's possible with this method. Oopsie. And well, next step, I'm creating the typical eye shade with the V7 on the Rocks palette, and I'm using for the grayish tone Cheers. Mercy's eye shape looks like the highest point on her eyes is in the beginning, not in the middle of her eyes, so I try to create this effect by using the eyeshadow. Now I'm drawing how I want to create my eye shape, and then I will blend it with the blender brush. Now I'm blending the eyeshadow. Now I'm using black eyeliner to create this thick line on Mercy's upper lid. And yeah, here we go. Her eyeliner is pretty long, so a little bit behind my natural crease. So the eyeliner itself is pretty straight, so no wing curve at all. And let it dry good enough. So now I'm using a black kohl on my lower waterline. And if anybody is wondering why I'm talking like a robot sometimes, it's because I have to search the German English words to, yeah, the translation. You know what I'm talking about right now. It happened again. So I can't talk as fast as I would do in German. Just to be cool, I'm painting my upper waterline black as well. And because the lines are pretty straight, I'm using some of my foundation to clear the edges. Now we we will work on the lips, and therefore I'm using a lip rouge from Kryolan called LF402 in a very nude orange tone. For a nice finish, I'm using MAC body gloss on my lower lip and not the lip gloss because it's sticky. It's too sticky. So now I'm using the lovely Value Makers palette to contour my face because it's the most important step, I guess. And here, I'm mostly using these 3 shades. To get the shades, I'm using this color. Mercy has a pretty slim nose, a small chin, and a more pointed chin. Yeah, I guess it's right. Due to the fact that Mercy has some orange undertones, I'm using the color Body Shot on the tip of my nose and around the chin area. For the highlights, I'm using white. I'm shaping this line with white, here, here, and here, to let my nose look even smaller, because these areas match now better with my skin tones. So I'm using this color to overdraw darker spots to let them look a little bit more natural. So after the normal highlighting is done, I'm using a glow from Catrice to make some special highlights. I used the glow to make some shimmery highlights on my face, which tend to be the focus now. 'Cause she's an angel. Oh, what I totally missed is using mascara. I should do this now. So, and due to the fact I don't like to glue fabric into my face, I'm using a body paint on black from Farbstock to create this black patterns. And on this point, if you have a round face, you can shape your face perfectly slim, because you can overdraw your jaw lines perfectly. Now I will get in costume and patching you up. So this is how the final makeup looks with the wig on, and I hope you like it. And the next step is the cosplay itself. The cosplay is simply bought, I don't know, it's between 50 and 100 euros depending on from where you get it, from eBay or from Alibaba. And it's pretty comfortable. It felt like a swimsuit, so if you sweat, it's not that awful, and it's pretty, yeah, nice to wear. To be fair, I like the 3D print because it looks pretty natural with all the shadows and highlights. But yeah, if you want to, you can do the full stuff with armor, of course. But for this tutorial, that's pretty much enough. I hope you like this tutorial and find it kind of helpful. Share it with your friends, give it a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask them in the comments, and see you soon. Bye! Comment me your battle tag in Overwatch. I would love to play with you guys.